All right, everybody. It is almost the end of March. And so Nina Roberti is back with Bach Flower Essences to help us with this month's animal messages of accept. So Nina, what do you have for us today?
Yes. Hi, Julie. Thank you for having me again this month. I am very excited to give you three other also Bach Flower Essences for accept. So basically, like I was like, what is acceptance? And it's how is it that we resign to the inevitable? It's like we need to accept what is going on in our life, let go of the control or however that looks, so that we are able to find the joy in all the decisions as to how we move forward. So the first one, which I will show you, is Wild Rose. So,
Cool.
whoops,
Oh,
can you
cool.
see
Okay.
that?
Yep, I
Yeah,
can see it.
Wild Rose. And so
Mhm.
Wild Rose is, for someone that Wild Rose would assist, it is basically someone that is needing to surrender of facing a challenge or a struggle or something going on in their life. Maybe it is a chronic illness, or you're stuck in a marriage, or an unsatisfactory job, or just some depression. For animals, it could be an animal that has been in a shelter for a while, or it's just circumstances that you feel like that you cannot change. But as we know, changes, I mean, everything is temporary. So it's always going to change. I think like a Buddhist monk said that everything is impermanent, that as in life.
Yep.
So Wild Rose basically is it will allow you to resign to accept what is going on in your life. That we say that life is happening for us and not against us, right? And so that we just accept the challenges or the struggles that we're going through. And so Wild Rose will assist you in allowing you to basically accept that. It will bring you so that you're able to glide through life and to flow with it. And then it will bring you, more joy. And then when you have more joy, you're more interested in life. It brings your vital force back. And so that we're able to really accept what is going on in our life as we surrender to whatever challenge that is. And it's not really a challenge. It's just something that we are, our souls probably asked us to like, what lesson do I need to learn?
Yeah, I was just going to ask. So if we have Wild Rose, then it just allows us to be, like you said, be in the flow so that we can hear what we're learning from these challenges. So that as we accept the challenge, we then also accept the gift that it can be. Right? Is that what I'm
Yes,
under?
yeah, yes, yes,
Okay,
perfect. Yes,
cool.
that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it's amazing, and you can take these in a tincture with a lot of others, or just like a lot of times I just, acutely dose with just like one underneath, and it's amazing just the shift so that when you are going through sometimes a challenging time in your life, it's just to breathe, and then you do that and you do feel the shift, as you know.
Yeah.
I know that we both have, it's like, oh my goodness, it's amazing what
Yeah.
Bach Flower Essences do, you know.
Yeah. Couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
so the next one we have is Centaury. And that is Centuary.
Oh, now I can see your notes. Okay.
Yes, yes, I'm having notes so I don't forget anything.
Cool. Okay.
Um, and so basically, Century is that, for us to be able to accept things that are going on in our lives, we need to be really centered and fully embodied in our body. Because then that way we are living from our heart and making decisions from our heart, and we're feeling into it as compared to all of the craziness that our mind can sometimes create. And then we're also like out here. So when we're out here, you're really not in tune with everything that's going on in here.
Yeah.
So Century helps us get centered, but also for someone that would assist is someone that, is basically unable to say no. That they're not really clear boundaries. They're more of someone that is kind of to serving others as compared to serving themselves. So they're very, servient, and sometimes people can take advantage and that they may become a doormat. And so then that way, they become overtired or overworked because you're always saying yes to something that does not really fully resonate with you to form the form boundaries that you need. And then that way you're able to accept what is going on in your life. But so Century will restore your assertiveness and your individuality. So
Mm,
this way you are able to have clearer boundaries. You're able to say no to something that doesn't resonate with you. And then you're able to accept what is going on in your life for what it is.
cool. That's really cool. That's a good one. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. And then the last one is cherry plum. And this is one, and as I was saying to Julie earlier, is that I needed this one yesterday quite a bit, which I just added it in. Because this one is feel like you're going plum crazy, right? You're just kind of you feel like you're losing control if you have to let go. And as we know, it's kind of, you have a lot of stress or anxiety. It's basically someone that, may be like a child, maybe having a temper tantrum because they're losing control. So they're kind of showing it outwardly, or possibly an animal that is self-destructive, or, maybe tearing walls in or anything. It's something that, you feel that you're losing control. And as we know, when we are fully embodied and we accept what's going on, we know that you're not losing control, but you're listening to your inner guidance as to what is going on. So the cherry plum will restore the calmness back to you. It will bring you more of a sense of control and composure so that you're able to face the challenges that you are experiencing in life. And then you just surrender to accept what's going on, and then you're just able to move, much easier in life coming from your heart and knowing that you have really just kind of, you're listening to your inner guidance and moving forward in a calm and kind of a composed way.
Mhm.
And that is cherry plum.
Wow. Okay. So cherry plum is more about in an effort to have control. I'm going to say it that way with air
Yes.
quotes, and giving you the ability to surrender, which ultimately does, I feel like, allow you to have some control if you surrender to
Yes.
all that is, right? And surrender to the challenge and accept the challenge. Whereas Wild Rose was more about, allowing you to be like kind of in the flow so you could actually hear the gift that the challenge is actually asking you to accept. Does that make
Yes.
sense? It's
Yes. Yeah, yeah. No,
nuancey,
that
but
totally,
it's,
yes,
yeah.
that totally makes sense. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's a very good summary of it all.
Oh, good, good. Okay, yeah. So that's cool. I love how like they're nuanced in such a way that to really kind of hit it's not a blanket. It's like understanding who you are, where you are, and what you need at the moment. Like, and then even Centaury, right? To be
Yes.
able to put boundaries in your place. But I also felt like the ability to, if you had boundaries so that you knew you needed some self-care,
Mhm.
Centaury could do that so that while you have some self-care, you also then have also the ability to hear the challenge that's the gift that you have to accept. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Great.
Okay.
Yes. Well, and it is amazing though, because it is the little nuances of each essence,
Yeah.
but they all work in harmony with each other. So, as you're taking one, I have like a tincture that it could have 17 of them, or the next day, the next month, because you take them for as long as it integrates into your body. And then once you feel like you don't need it anymore, or you just stop taking it unconsciously, then it's kind of integrated and it's time either to move on or upgrade to whatever it is that you need for the I shouldn't say challenges, but the onion that you've peeled back for the next set of emotions, or lessons or things that you need in your life
Yeah.
afterwards.
Okay, cool. So then even as the animals are showing us how to accept, in which way to accept, whether it's the surrender, whether it's boundaries, whether it's the kind of go with the flow. However, animals are this can provide additional support for both you and if your animal's even facing a challenge that needs to be accepted too. Like
Yes.
you said about
Yes.
the shelter animals. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which is perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a great summarization of what you were saying with all three of those.
Okay. That's
Because
cool.
as we know, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, like, because we know, like, our animals, assist us, but also they're also taking on, our challenges and struggles, when it's emotionally or the mental chatter. So they're also taking that on. So it's good to assist them in that aspect as well, of clearing that energy, or to allowing their souls or selves to come back down to, in peace
Yeah.
and harmony with themselves.
Which then allows them to help to even support us even more. And
Right.
like, I just love how it's like
Yes.
all intertwined and put together too. And just,
Yes.
yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It is amazing. Yes. So, yeah.
Any final thoughts or anything today?
No, I mean, if there's any questions or anything, or, yes, happy to assist, however that is. But I mean, the Bach Flower Essences are amazing because they do go down to the cellular level. And it just is the little nuances, but you can just carrying them with you at all the time, and it's just amazing the shift as to how you become more centered and you just feel more in your heart and embodied.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
Before we go, I just want to comment on that because, you've helped Lucas just entered the room again. So you've helped Lucas with the loud noises and whatever. So we recently did a road trip to Texas and I knew we could possibly get thunderstorms, right? So I brought my Aspen. I brought the Aspen with me as well as another one that I know really works with him. But anyway, Aspen's his favorite. So I brought it with me. Which one?
Mimulus, maybe?
Yep. That's it. I can never say it. So I always wait for you to say it. So sure enough, first night we're in Texas, first night we're in our new little travel trailer, we get a thunderstorm, really bad one. And he, does his pose, let me know, well before it was coming, we knew it. So I gave him a couple drops and this was the first time, like he's been letting me comfort him, but to this extent, he climbed up next to me and let me hold him.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it just makes such a difference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So these Bach Flower Essences, and even with grief and whatnot for me too, but he's out the door just waiting to go for a WALK. So, but I just wanted to share that story just to kind of reinforce how much these help.
Yeah, that's amazing because it's just the little steps, but it's every step that gets you closer. And the fact that he allowed you to, comfort him in a physical capacity is amazing.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
So in the notes below or whatever, I know this is on Substack. So in the little comment, you'll see like how to reach out to Nina if you feel like you'd want some help with accept or something else that's going on and you feel like Bach Flower Essences could be something for you and your animal. If your animal's pointing you to something, reach out to her because she'll do a reading and an understanding of what actually will help you the most. And it's amazing, as I can tell you, as Lucas can tell you, who's right out there. All right, cool. Thanks everybody for taking a look. Let us know your comments down below and we will see you next month for more Bach Flower Essences for whatever the message is going to be in April. See you later.